You're listening to the Blacktop Banter podcast, the premier podcast in the asphalt industry, made for contractors with contractors.
What's up, guys? Back for another episode of Blacktop Banter. If you guys have been on social media in the realm of the asphalt industry at all, these guys have come on hot. I love the content. I reached out and was like, hey, I'd love to make this happen. Can you guys do this? And here we are. So I got Josh Prickett today. Josh is owner at Asphalt Care Services. And Asphalt Care Services, fire on TikTok, fire on Instagram lately. It's a family-owned and operated company, and they were founded in 1993 in Medford, New Jersey. After visiting South Florida, they realized that they prefer the sun to the snow, as we all do, and they made the move and began offering their services for commercial and residential clients throughout that area. Their commitment to providing the highest quality work that's on time, every time, is the same as it has always been since they took on their very first project. Josh, thanks for joining me, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Man, you and I were talking a little bit beforehand, and this happens a lot. This is a generational business, right? It is.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I want you to give us a little bit of history on it. Your dad, Earl, founded it, and I kind of want to give me the origin story about this down through the years to where you're at now, because I, for 100% guarantee, when your dad started, he definitely didn't think that there'd be viral videos from his company on TikTok.
Absolutely not. So we started in New Jersey about 35 years ago. My dad was working at a night shift company before, and he was doing some asphalt jobs on the side, squeegeeing some little driveways. And eventually the company, they were shutting down the doors, and he had to make the decision whether he should stick with going to the company
Yep.
to a different state or potentially getting into the asphalt world a little bit more. So
Yep.
he ended up sticking with the asphalt, and then he bought a bigger seal coating tank and started doing bigger parking lots and stuff, smaller patchwork, and then
Yep.
eventually got into the paving.
Yeah, and
So-
that was in Jersey, right? You guys
Yes.
were doing that in Jersey. So
Yes.
how old were you when you first got introduced to it?
So we would have a place down in Florida, but then when summertime would come around, we'd go up to New Jersey
Okay.
while my dad was working. And then around early high school, I just started working every summer with him, getting around the business, because I knew at that time I wasn't going to be going to college or anything.
For sure.
So
Got
I
in there, got
in there early. So
So were you all paving when you were in high school, or were you still doing asphalt maintenance only?
we were doing up in New Jersey. We were doing paving and stuff.
Okay.
He had 2 paving crews, a sealing crew, and a striping crew up there. He had around 30 employees at the time.
Dang, man.
So I was learning from the best at that point.
How did he learn to do all that? Was he an entrepreneur, a business owner, or anything like that
Yeah, I mean-
beforehand, or did he just have a knack for it? What was it?
I think he just had an knack for it pretty much.
Dang,
was-
man.
He just worked really hard at it, put a bunch of time into it, and then eventually just had good people around that could help him learn the business a little bit more.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a wild story, and especially to
Mhm.
jump from squeegeeing small driveways to 2
Mhm.
paving crews.
A little bit different.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things where it's a common story, but yet every time I hear it, it still is amazing, right? Like
Mhm.
we have guys on here sometimes are like, yeah, we started seal coating out of buckets out of the back of a van, and I'm like, you guys literally are doing Air Force bases all across the country.
Yeah.
All over the place. It never ceases to amaze me. Timing is everything, and I think the situation is right, and the right people in the right place, like your dad. Being there and starting it at the right time. Seal coating was somewhat young yet, and it was still kind of just prime for it. So,
Yeah.
what are some of the challenges that come with working across different states and whatnot? Like, what's that like for you all?
We shut down the business up in New Jersey. So we're
Mhm.
just now in Florida. We got a smaller business down here. We got 5 guys. One of one of the guys we got actually started out. He's one of my friends
Okay.
from when I first moved down here. His name's Victor. He's been working with me ever since we started down here, and we just been killing it together.
Dang.
But the difference between the different states is like this is year round down here
Yeah.
compared to up there. It's like you got 6 months just to bust things out.
Yeah.
Um,
I,
we'll have days down here where we'll be rained out, and my dad will all be worked up and everything. And I'm like, listen, we've got tomorrow, we've got the
yeah.
next day. You know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
he's
end
still
down
in
here.
Jersey
Yeah,
mode. Yeah.
exactly.
I was telling somebody about this the other day. We were at Pavex, and which is going to be crazy when people hear this because this isn't coming out in the middle of summer. Pavex will be closer to actually coming back by the time they hear this one.
Mm-hmm.
Chalk that up to Marvin grinding in the podcast booth.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah, I appreciate that. But we were talking about this because I was talking with my friend Jason at Florida Seal Coating, and he's like, we just on the weekends we just take off and we, we'll do this, we'll do that. I'm like, I don't even know what that's like. I've never known what that's like. Like up where I'm at, it's like every day ends in Y, and that means you're working every single day. And it's hard for me to unplug from that and think about that, like where you're like, dude, it's okay. We got next week. Like for your dad and for me, it's probably like, no, we don't. Like your mindset's hard to shift there.
Oh my God, if it rains one day, it's like don't even go around my dad. He's not in a good mood.
Yeah,
Me
and
and
that's
my mom
Florida.
just avoid him. Yep.
Yeah, that's at Florida. It'll rain once in the morning for 20 minutes, screw it
Oh my
up,
God,
and
it's
then once
crazy.
in the afternoon for 20 minutes and
It's pretty
screw
hard
it
to
up.
predict.
So the big question is then, with year round down in Florida, Victor handles any like seal coating. Do you guys prolong that a little farther until you were able to get back, or your dad? Like, what's that system look like?
So seal coating, Victor pretty much does all the seal coating. I've got another guy that's learning how to spray, and he'll probably take over the seal coating part of it
Okay.
pretty soon. And then I'm the main guy who does the striping.
Okay.
Unless we got bigger jobs, then I'll have Victor come and help me on
Yeah.
some striping. But mainly seal coating, patchwork, and we're getting into paving now down here.
Cool, man.
But we're just getting started.
I was gonna say that's a big lift. I think people
Yeah, it
think
is.
about that sometimes, where they're like, "Well, I'm just gonna start doing this here, doing this there," and it's like I've watched people try to do that, and then it just crumbles.
Yep.
Like you got to build it slow, it's steady growth. Yes, we make everybody who knows it's in the asphalt industry, we make good money. It's not that. It's that it costs a lot to grow. Like it costs a lot. So we got to be careful about timing and when we do it and whatnot. So I want to ask you something, man. What about you? What about Josh? Does Josh stay in Florida? Does Josh jet set back and forth all summer? What's that look like? What's your schedule look like?
I'm all in Florida 90% of the time.
Okay.
My dad doesn't go back to New Jersey anymore. We don't have anything up there anymore.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
we
So we're
brought
all
the
down. We're
yeah, we
Florida.
brought the business down here. Anything that he had up there that was worth keeping, we would just our first year we would just go back and forth,
Yep.
bringing some equipment down when we were slow. So now
Y'all
we've
made
got
the
everything.
transition.
Yeah.
Made that transition.
Yeah. Once I got out of high school, it was just first day out. We started down here and never looked back.
That's what they were waiting on.
Yep.
Yeah, they were waiting on you to get out of high school.
Yep.
Yep. They're like now we can go seal code and pave it.
Yep.
It's like
Exactly.
you mean what we've been doing our whole entire lives?
Yep.
Well, I want to ask you a little bit, man, about the internet, right? Because when your dad started it in '93, the internet, Al Gore hadn't invented it yet, or whatever he tries to say. It's changed a lot, man. And here we are 20, 30 years later, 30 plus years later now. And when I follow you all quite a bit on TikTok, there's videos there of 13 million views, 2 million views. You guys got more followers and likes than Blacktop Banter does on TikTok for sure. And for me, it's like, dude, you all there's a lot of asphalt content creators now, Josh. A lot, dude. And there's some people who are like, well, I'm just comfortable doing this. So this is all I'm going to do. And it doesn't do anything. And then there's other people who are like, well, I'm just comfortable doing this. And it takes off and catches fire. Your all stuff, the only way I can describe it is if you're an asphalt junkie, it's satisfying. Very satisfying. Now, if you're not an asphalt junkie, it's just satisfying, which is plenty enough for the algorithm to grab it and run with it and make some content out of that thing and get them
That's
numbers
the
up.
goal right there.
Yeah, make it for everybody. Make it
Yep.
for everybody. So I kind of want to pick your brain a little bit about that.
In my opinion, Dynapac CC900G roller is the best roller on the market for driveway and small parking lot paving contractors. The seismic technology in these rollers is unbeatable for the smoothness and compaction they provide. Take my word for it, or visit Dynapac.com to find a dealer near you.
Hey Blacktop Banter fans, this is Michael with Aquafault. Aquafault is the only permanent repair material for asphalt and concrete that uses water. And installation is simple. Just pour, add water, and tamp. It's that easy. An Aquafault repair can be open to traffic immediately and fully sealed within 24 hours. Visit aquafault.com to learn more.
I work closely with KM International to design what I believe is the best seal coating unit on the market. The Blacktop Banter Edition seal coating unit, available in both 550 and 700 gallon versions. Learn more about the unit by visiting kminternational.com.
Quick startups, fume-free, automatic agitator shutoff, a splash-proof lid, and pumping on demand. These features are essential for any serious asphalt maintenance contractor. Elevate your game with the Crafco SuperShot line of melters by visiting crafco.com today.
Hi contractors, it's Kyla from Wiscoat. We use Stencil Plus for all of our pavement marking stencils. You can save 10% on your stencil order by using code BB10 during checkout at stencilplus.com or by calling 877-372-6055.
In the past year, Jobber has been our CRM of choice at Wiscoat, and it's made our world exponentially better efficiency-wise. For our small seal coating company, it has helped build the solid foundation we can scale from. Jobber is now a sponsor of Blacktop Banter and helps bring this show to you. With this partnership, Jobber is offering an exclusive savings to BB listeners of 20% off for 6 months. To take advantage of this, find the Jobber link in the show description and get to improving your process today.
First of all, we won't get into the voiceover stuff yet, which I really am starting to enjoy that y'all are starting to do.
Thank you.
We'll talk about that a little bit. But first of all, what is this? What's the strategy? What is it? Is there a strategy? Is it just you doing your thing? You want to like divulge that of just like, hey man, I got lightning in a bottle. But what is it you think?
So we first started out, it was just a joke at first, kind of. My friend, he's big into marketing and stuff. My good friend Dave, he's the one who got me into it. He said one day, he's like, you should start a TikTok for your business. And at first I didn't really, I was just messing around with it, trying to compete with him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we had one video do pretty good, and I had posted a bunch of other ones before that, and they weren't doing good. And I was like, once the one went and gone viral, I was like, kind of see why that one went viral compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just, and my girlfriend actually, she was saying how you're not going to get any posts from the funny videos. You kind of got to make them satisfying.
Yeah.
Then after that, I was like, started taking some better videos of better lighting videos and everything, and that's where it kind of started to click.
Well, I like the angles that you all do.
Thank you.
It always looks like I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't necessarily do that at Wiscoat and at BB when we create content. Like it always feels like I'm standing there watching you guys work, which is like the craziest freaking feeling ever. It's like I love doing site visits and hanging out with contractors and creating content, but literally all I got to do is watch y'all's feed, and it feels like I'm there on the job, and you're like, hey, Marvin, today we're going to cut this patch out. The customer didn't want us to cut this patch out, but it had a speed bump that they needed eliminated, so we went ahead and eliminated it. Yeah, dude. And I'm like, dang, dude, I feel like Josh was just like, okay. I feel like when I'm done, I want to go, okay, Josh. Like he told me what it was going on. I'm like, okay, Josh.
Got to get the point across.
When did that start? When did the voiceover stuff kind of start going?
So I was making just satisfying videos at first, and then I would make some longer videos, but then I realized that people wouldn't have the attention span to watch the whole minute-long video or something.
Yeah.
So my idea was, if I'm going to get them to stick around, maybe I should tell a little story, keep them invested from the beginning. And that's when I started to make like longer videos. I made one about a speed bump recently, and I was like, if I just post this with a song, nobody's going to stick through this. So I decided to tell a little story with it, and it did pretty well.
Man, it's crazy that the ability to do that, to understand what hits, what doesn't hit, the algorithm and why it takes it and what it does. It seems simple to you, right? You're like, oh, well, this one hit. I'm going to make more like this. People don't often do that, dude. They just keep pumping stuff out without a
No.
direction and think it's going to go. It's going to do
Mhm.
it. Last question on social media and on TikTok. What have you seen as far as positives that have come from the TikTok thing and TikTok? I mean, there's videos, like I said, there's videos of 13 million, but you have videos, multiple videos of multiple millions of views now at this point. That can't do nothing, must do something.
Yeah. So, I mean, it pumps it up pretty good for like Google and stuff. They'll help us find us through Google. And now we're just asking people every time they call the business line, like how they found us. Because sometimes they'll call and they might not tell us, like they found us through social media. But
Yeah.
now we'll ask just to see like how many people actually found us through social media. We had somebody recently, like an hour and a half away from us. They called us and they were like, "We found you guys through TikTok. Is there any way you guys work in our area?" And my mom's like, "Yeah, we actually do." So
That's
ended up
crazy.
just sending them a proposal over. So we'll see if we get that.
Yeah.
Um,
You get
but besides,
opportunities to be on Blacktop Banner. I
yeah,
mean,
there we
and
go.
that,
That's a big thing right there.
yeah, that makes it.
Yeah, and we actually we had trouble when we were starting out, like with finding good workers.
Mm.
And we'll get calls from people in different states now asking for jobs because of social
Dang.
media. We actually got a guy working for us right now, Tay. His girlfriend found us through social media, and she was like, "Are you looking for another worker?" And my boyfriend's looking for a job, and now he's one of our best guys. So
That's
that worked out really
crazy,
well.
man. It's crazy. What a crazy story, dude.
Yep.
It's so wild to think that, everyone's always got this thing of like, how, if you're the second generation or third generation, you're like, how do I make my way? Like, how do I have my spot underneath what my parent or grandparent has built? How do I do it? It's crazy to see this. It's crazy to see that the transition has happened because you're open to doing it and understanding it, to where it adds more value on top of what your dad had already built. And now it's turning into something that your dad couldn't have built on his own, and you would have had a struggle trying to build to this size from way back then.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the beauty of the generational type of business and social media. Everyone always gives social media a bad rap, Josh.
It's the way of the world nowadays.
Yeah, and
You
it's
got to be on
not.
top of it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not. It can have positive things. It depends on how you use it.
Absolutely.
It's like a hammer.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about the hammer earlier before you and I got on there. Hammer's cool until it smashes your finger. Well, if you move your hand out of the way and you start swinging it, you're good to go.
Yep.
I think that's kind of what social media is, or whatever, and how that works. What would be some good advice, man? I want to close with that. There's guys that are deathly scared of social media, even young guys, and showing their work and getting on there and whatnot. What would be some great advice, man, that you would have for these guys that are on the fence?
I would say just don't be afraid to try anything new. You can always learn something, even though you think you know it all. If you go out and listen to people, there could be a more efficient way to do something, stuff like that. Just don't be afraid. And pretty much in this business, if you get stressed out, you're just going to keep getting more stressed out because everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Every day something goes wrong, and you just got to, in my opinion, I would say just go out there, and if something goes wrong, try to find the problem first before getting all worked up about it,
Yeah.
because there's always going to be stuff that goes wrong.
Yeah, dude, that's the nature of the beast. I think
Yeah.
people have trouble realizing that, and they have this fantasy that they think that it's just one day everything's going to go smooth.
Yeah, good luck.
There's no way, dude. We literally are smashing sand, rock, and oil together into the earth with tons of equipment, right? Heavy equipment, and then we're driving on it in the dry sun, and then we're trying to keep it together. Good luck that nothing with melted rubber at 400 degrees. We're trying to keep it together in spray rigs that are pumping thick ass sealer. You're okay. Yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong.
Yeah.
It's gonna be perfect.
I always say there's plan A and then there's plan,
Everything
F
else
or something. Because that's where you're going to be at.
Dude, I say plan F a lot.
Yeah.
In the summertime when we're
It's like,
out here grinding.
All right, we'll go with this plan, and then it'll be.
Yeah.
That plan is out the window by an hour into the job.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. It's damage control after that point.
Yep.
I want to ask you one last thing. I don't usually ask for two pieces, but your dad has been in the game a long time, has a lot of experience. What has he taught you? What was one thing that he's taught you throughout the ages?
Just work as hard as possible. That's pretty much what he tells me every day. If I slack off a little bit, he's going to be up my ass immediately.
Yeah.
So he's been a great mentor. Everybody else went away to college, all my friends, and I stuck around to do this. And at first I was a little worried if I made the right decision, but now that the years have gone on, I'm really glad I stuck it out with this.
That's good, man. That's a good message too to let people know, especially generational.
It's good to have my dad in my back corner too. So
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people where like they don't get to work with their family or spend time with their dad. I was just telling somebody today, I used to enjoy seal coating, and then I didn't for a long time, and then we did striping and patching, and now we're doing a little bit of paving and whatnot. This last summer, when Eli was on the job with me, the line striping kid, dude, it was the most enjoyable summer I've ever had seal coating. And the shit hit the fan is why I was back out on the parking lots. Like the couple of guys are like, yeah, I'm out of here. Peace. It was super enjoyable. And I was like, I'm never going to be able to replace this or get this time back with him out here on these parking lots. And we're learning a lot together, man.
Yep.
And we're starting to enjoy the time together, taking satisfaction in the finished product together. He's putting a little bit of money in his pocket, bought a four-wheeler. He's proud. I'm like, dude, it doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah. Yeah, you should be happy about that. He's learning the business at an early age.
Yeah, man, and it's
the
cool
next
to
generation.
Well, you're leading that next generation, so that's kind of where I want to leave that, man. Is like you guys are an example of that. We've seen it quite a bit in our industry. I'm an example of that. All of our other friends that are doing social media and stuff that we get to follow them along, most of them are second generation, third generation one. It's a family business. Where can people follow you all at online? I know on TikTok, that's the one I know by hand is Asphalt Care Services.
Yeah, we started out on TikTok. We're on Instagram now, starting up YouTube. I just started that a month ago. I'm doing pretty good on that now. And Facebook. Facebook's a little tricky. It seems like
it's a tough one.
That's a tough one. They don't take my videos like the other ones do.
No, that's because your dad and everybody older than him are on Facebook, right?
That might be it.
It is. You're gonna have to you have to start it with I don't know. I'm not gonna say this. I gotta filter myself sometimes.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. So maybe you gotta start off reading a book. Maybe you gotta start off in a walker. Maybe you gotta start off mixing Metamucil up. I don't know, dude.
Yep.
Something to get that attention right away. But
yeah.
No, dude, I appreciate that. It's awesome to see you guys. What about if people want to find Asphalt Care Services? Is it asphaltcareservices.com? You guys got that website?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
AsphaltCareServices.com. That's where you can find us.
Cool, man. Well, I hope people pop over and pay attention to some of these videos. One thing I will point out, you and I both did a number 23 Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan video here this year. Not on purpose. Like we both did them at about the same time. It was like we both know we have good ideas. Make sure you pop over and follow these guys online. You won't regret it, especially if you're an asphalt geek or you like satisfying videos. If you're online, you're on TikTok, and you're like, dude, Asphalt Care Services is killing it. You could pop over and check out Blacktop Banter. It's at Blacktop Banter on TikTok. We put up some cool shit sometimes. Please pop over there and check that out. And we're at Blacktop Banter everywhere on social media. Josh, thanks, man, for joining me. I really appreciate it. It looks like it's a nice day down there, so I know you probably should be out on a parking lot doing something, but you're spending time with us. Your dad's probably like, hurry up, get out of there.
Yep. Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, man. No
it's great
worries.
To finally talk.
Yes, sir. We're looking forward to seeing you, meeting up whenever we can do some stuff in the future. For myself and for Josh, we absolutely 100% speak asphalt. This is Blacktop Banter. Peace. Hey, everybody. Marvin here from Blacktop Banter. And if you enjoy the podcast and what we've been bringing to the industry, you can support us through a one-time or recurring donation at blacktopbanter.com. There we have a support tab. You click that.
and choose your path from there. If you listen on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please do us a favor and leave a review there for us as well. As always, we speak asphalt, and thanks for your support.